Very funny, sensational, hilarious, and deranged. I'm not talking about me. You're guaranteed to laugh your iceberg off. That's what they're saying about the musical Titanique. Here's a look. So, to help steer this musical is an incredible cast, which includes our next guest, who has appeared on Broadway in Mrs. Doubtfire, Waitress, The Play That Goes Wrong, just to name a few. He also has a long list of credits from London's West End. So please welcome back the talented actor, singer, and dancer, Mark Evans. Good to have you here.
Thank you. What an introduction.
Well, you know, we just roll out the carpet. And a friend, by the way. Yes, I got to add you a friend after, you've been here many times on the Pix 7 Morning News. And we actually, last time we spoke to you here on Pix 11 was during the pandemic. We spoke to you and your husband, Justin, about the difficulties of kind of working in acting in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Long way from there, here we are. How did it go from then to now?
I mean, amazing. It feels like a million years ago, even though it wasn't. Titanique is a gift. My husband and I, Justin and I, saw it when it was at the old venue at the Asylum and loved it. So when the offer came in to be a part of the show, I was like, absolutely. If I can be responsible for making people laugh in the way that we did, sign me up.
Okay, so this was supposed to be a limited engagement. It keeps getting, as you saw from the headlines, a whole bunch of buzz. I saw the show last weekend, and I can say firsthand that it's absolutely hilarious. I was laughing my iceberg off.
I saw you.
Yeah, I know. The entire time. So, what kind of reaction, I guess, do you feel when you're on the stage? You've been in comedies before. The Play That Goes Wrong is the last time I interviewed you for a show, too. And but I feel like this is a different kind of humor.
This is, the way that I've described it to friends who were thinking of coming is that I feel like people show up either by themselves or in their little group, and that everyone starts the show in isolation from each other. But by the time that they've finished, this bonding has happened, like this exclusive, one-of-a-kind experience makes them feel like they are just one unit who just experienced this kooky, crazy thing that is hilarious.
Okay, so we see Celine Dion here, right? Now, obviously, she wasn't in the movie Titanic. Can you give us a little bit of premise about the show? Because it's loosely based off the movie and so on and so forth.
So, well, it's the story of the movie Titanic told with the music and the memory of Celine Dion, because the premise is that she was there too. And it's a real love letter to Celine Dion. Everybody involved in the show is a huge fan of hers, of course. She's an icon. But, for anyone who's seen her live on stage or any interviews with her, she's kind of a bit of a peculiar being. And so the fact that Celine Dion says that she was on the Titanic means that, she can get away with saying that anything happened and it just becomes fact, which is just an open door for hilarity.
Yeah, I mean, it is downright hilarious. I have to ask you, though, by the way, it's a viral hit, too, all over social media. Like, anybody who's posting pictures or videos, it's amazing to see, which is why I wanted to have you in. How much of the show is scripted versus how much is actually ad-libbed?
Most of my stuff is scripted. I play the role of Cal, which is the Billy Zane role from the movie. And so I'm kind of a bit more of the straight character, the villain. But there are certain sections in the show that are literally improvised every night. That's what I mean, that every audience coming, you could come every night and get a different experience, which is so cool.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And you've been very busy besides, and by the way, tell me about your character.
Cal, I can't curse on morning television, but he's not a nice guy. Let's just say that.
Right, but you still bring the charm.
Thanks.
You still bring the charm to the character.
I aim to do that.
Yeah, it's tough to do. It's really tough for you, to bring it.
How dare you?
You've been very busy, and you was also Bring Your Child to Work Day in April. I don't know if you know this. In the month of April was Bring Your Child to Work Day. I didn't bring my daughter Olivia, but you actually got to jump on things and brought your little one to the set of Titanique.
Yes, I did.
And so let's throw up the pictures here, okay? Because I got to say, she looked pretty darn comfortable. Do we have the picture? She looked pretty. This is not the picture.
Oh, he's cute though. Who's that child? There she is.
How's it going?
Good. That was really peculiar because, and like such a wild experience to have Larson. There she is. I hate that she's so comfortable on stage.
I was going to say, starting her young.
It's nice because you're, a relatively new dad. You know that, like, it can very easily feel like you have two separate lives, work and then family. So for Justin and Larson to come in and meet all of my colleagues and everyone fall in love with her, like, it was just wonderful.
I don't know. I see a future right there.
I know, look at her.
She's such a ham.
Hopefully Titanique is going to run long enough for her to take over as Celine Dion.
She's very, very cute. And Larson and my daughter Olivia are going to be fast friends.
Besties already.
So I do want to talk about your other show that you were part of recently, and it was a cabaret called Hide and Seek, a solo cabaret. I also went to go see this. It was deeply personal for you to tell your own life story in a memoir style.
Yeah.
What made you want to do it? And it was very, very touching to watch.
Thank you, and thanks for being there. It was a long time coming. I say, 25 years in the making. It's basically the story of what it means to grow up as a queer person in a straight world in the farming community in North Wales. And I've always thought that, like, oh, no one needs to hear this story. But when I think about how I was treated or mistreated and bullied as a kid, now that I'm a parent, the perspective shift I've had on that and made me realize, oh, that was unacceptable. And if I can share my story and have it resonate with even one other person, it makes it worth it. And it was really overwhelming. It was sold out. Everybody who came to see it, I was flooded with emails and texts and calls the next couple of days just saying this wasn't just a queer story, it was a human story about what it means to just fight to feel like you belong.
Yeah, and we saw the image of you as a kid too, and I gotta say, I always pay attention to how everyone's reacting, and it was people were laughing, crying all throughout, in the best of ways, because I think their story relates to everybody at some point in their life.
Well, that was the goal, I think, is to tell what is a pretty traumatic story through the lens of humor.
Yeah.
Because when people can laugh, it's sort of like an access point, a way in, and it's still a work in progress. There's going to be future productions of the show, and kind of like finding that balance, I think, is important.
That's what I was going to ask. If you're bringing it to more places, good to hear that you are.
Yeah,
people need to hear it. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Really, good
nice
to see you in person.
At work.
Yes, I know, right? Nobody ever sees me here. Be sure to check him out in Titanique, now playing through May 14th at the Darrell Roth Theater in Union Square. And let me just say, if I can say, I think there's going to be an extended run beyond that date. If I had to guess, that's
from
just
your
my
lips,
guess, right? It's fantastic.